The assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, sent shockwaves across the nation and the world.
Has been assassinated. It's official now. The president is dead.
While Lee Harvey Oswald was swiftly apprehended and charged with the crime, the circumstances surrounding Kennedy's death have long fueled speculation and conspiracy theories. As the nation mourned the loss of its young and charismatic leader, questions began to emerge about the official narrative of Oswald acting alone. With inconsistencies in the evidence and lingering doubts about the events of that fateful day, the debate over whether the government played a role in Kennedy's assassination has endured for decades. While Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested for the crime, conspiracy theories have persisted for decades, raising the question, did the government kill JFK? The Warren Commission's investigation into Kennedy's assassination aimed to provide a comprehensive account of the events surrounding the tragedy. Established just 1 week after the assassination, the commission was tasked with unraveling the complexities of the case and delivering a definitive conclusion to the American public. Well, the commission ultimately concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in assassinating President Kennedy. Its findings have been subject to intense scrutiny and criticism over the years. Critics have highlighted numerous flaws in the commission's investigation, casting doubt on the validity of its conclusions. One area of contention revolves around the discrepancies in witness testimonies. Many witnesses who were present at the scene of the assassination provided conflicting accounts of what they saw and heard, leading to confusion and uncertainty about the sequence of events. Additionally, some witnesses later claimed that their testimony had been misrepresented or manipulated by the commission, raising concerns about the integrity of the investigative process. Furthermore, critics have raised questions about the handling of crucial evidence during the commission's investigation. In particular, the trajectory of the fatal shots and the location of Oswald at the time of the shooting have been hotly debated topics. Some researchers have suggested that key pieces of evidence were overlooked or disregarded by the commission, potentially skewing the final conclusions of the investigation. Overall, while the Warren Commission's report remains the official account of Kennedy's assassination, its findings have failed to fully satisfy many skeptics and conspiracy theorists. The lingering doubts and unanswered questions surrounding the case continue to fuel speculation and debate, underscoring the complexity and enduring mystery of one of the most pivotal moments in American history. Lee Harvey Oswald's background has been a subject of intense scrutiny and speculation in the investigation into President Kennedy's assassination. Born on October 18, 1939, in New Orleans, Oswald's early life was marked by instability and upheaval. His father died before his birth, and his mother struggled to support Oswald and his siblings as a single parent. As a young man, Oswald displayed a penchant for rebellion and dissatisfaction with authority. He joined the United States Marine Corps in 1956, but was dishonorably discharged in 1959 after a series of disciplinary issues and clashes with superiors. During his time in the Marines, Oswald received training in marksmanship and developed an interest in Marxism and communism. After leaving the military, Oswald embarked on a tumultuous journey that saw him travel to the Soviet Union in 1959, where he attempted to defect and become a citizen. Oswald spent 2.5 years in the Soviet Union before returning to the United States with his Russian wife, Marina. Upon his return, Oswald settled in Dallas, Texas, where he became involved in political activism and found employment at the Texas School Book Depository, the site from which he allegedly fired the shots that killed President Kennedy. Oswald's radical beliefs and erratic behavior have led many to speculate about his motives in assassinating President Kennedy. Some have suggested that Oswald was a lone gunman with a personal vendetta against Kennedy, while others believe he may have been influenced or manipulated by external forces. Regardless of Oswald's motivations, his background remains a focal point of investigation and debate in the ongoing quest to uncover the truth behind President Kennedy's assassination. Understanding Oswald's complex and troubled history is essential to piecing together the puzzle of one of the most infamous events in American history. The magic bullet theory is one of the most hotly debated aspects of the official investigation into President Kennedy's assassination. According to this theory, a single bullet fired by Lee Harvey Oswald passed through Kennedy's neck, struck Texas Governor John Connally, and caused a total of 7 wounds to both men. This theory was put forward by the Warren Commission to support the conclusion that Oswald acted alone in the assassination. However, critics of the magic bullet theory argue that it defies the laws of physics and strains credulity. They point out that the bullet's trajectory, as described by the theory, would have had to change direction multiple times to cause the observed wounds, which seems unlikely. Additionally, skeptics question how a single bullet could inflict so many injuries and remain relatively intact. The controversy surrounding the magic bullet theory has led many to doubt the lone gunman narrative put forth by the Warren Commission. Critics argue that the theory's implausibility casts doubt on the entire official account of the assassination and raises questions about the possibility of multiple shooters or a larger conspiracy. Despite the ongoing debate, the magic bullet theory remains a central component of the Warren Commission's conclusions regarding President Kennedy's assassination. Its validity continues to be a subject of intense scrutiny and skepticism among researchers, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. President Kennedy's tenure in office was characterized by bold and often controversial decisions that shaped both domestic and foreign policy. One of the most significant events of his presidency was the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962, during which the United States and the Soviet Union came dangerously close to nuclear war over the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba. Kennedy's handling of the crisis, marked by a combination of diplomacy and a show of military strength, ultimately averted catastrophe, but also drew criticism from both hawks and doves. Additionally, Kennedy's vocal opposition to the military-industrial complex and his efforts to reduce military spending and nuclear proliferation stirred controversy within the defense establishment. His advocacy for arms control treaties and his push for détente with the Soviet Union further fueled tensions among Cold War hardliners. Ultimately, the motives behind Kennedy's assassination remain the subject of intense debate and speculation, with numerous theories and hypotheses proposed over the years. However, what is clear is that Kennedy's presidency and the decisions he made during his time in office continue to be scrutinized and analyzed for their impact on American history and the trajectory of the Cold War. As the debate over JFK's assassination rages on, one thing remains clear. The events of November 22, 1963, continue to haunt the American consciousness. Whether Oswald acted alone or was part of a larger conspiracy, the quest for answers persists, ensuring that the legacy of President Kennedy and the circumstances of his death will remain subjects of speculation and investigation for years to come. Stay tuned to BTD for more such exciting revelations and conspiracy theories.